Hello everyone, how we doing? Can everyone see and hear us before I start chatting to myself as usual, or just Panda? And you may notice that Andy's morphed into a far cooler person. No offense, Andy.
Got my Christmas jumper on.
Yeah, I've let the side down again with that.
Although I'm a bit warm now. Like the heating comes on at 10 for an hour, and then, the flat's a bit toasty. I don't think I'm going to last long in it. I've worn
Yay!
it all evening.
Az is there, Pato's there, Cole. Yes, they can see us. Tala, lovely. How was that then, boys and girls? That was a royal shafting for many of us, wasn't it?
Yay!
How did you get on, Panda?
Well, I took a gamble after telling everyone to go for one shot. I took a gamble on Huckabee, and then Rob didn't even tweet the subs. So I was sat there like knowing that he came off injured after, what was it, like 55 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 2 point, 2 points for my captain. When there'd have been loads of people out there with rude one chop. I've seen lots of people captaining one chop, which was good.
Yeah. Did he match Van Nistelrooy in the end? I think it's exactly the same points, isn't it? I think it might be.
Yeah, I didn't look at the bonus, but yeah, they did everything else the same. So yeah, I think they both got man of the matches. So yeah, disappointing for me.
Cobbler says you hucked up. I love that.
Yeah, huck's sake. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't the week to gamble on a fucking Man City forward that wasn't called Paolo One Chop.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, man. It's like with those leaks. Obviously, it was a teaser this week, and some of the orange ones. For me, if you've got players from the orange teams, like they're kind of in that territory of don't buy, don't sell because they're not red, so you know that there's going to be at least probably one star player. It's not a complete rep 12. And it could be your person that you take out. So for me, they're almost like don't buy, don't sell. But then, on that note, if you are worried about them and you've got someone from the orange team, and you have a right to be worried about them because clearly quite a lot of them didn't play, you've then got the green guys and the blue guys who you can look to. And when you look to do that, the obvious people I thought this week were Man City players and Newcastle. Even though Newcastle are dreadful, we know this game's about fixtures and they're playing against Charlton. So Carl caught on one shot, top of the list, I think, and most people went for them and they actually returned. So that's the other part. You just need the luck as well that goes on it, and it actually worked out. So fair play to them, I think.
Yeah, I think if I had 0.5 more, I definitely would have got one shot. It was it was literally money. But I always wanted to captain whichever City asset I brought in.
Yeah.
It's just unlucky he went off injured rather than getting hooked.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that. Tiato owners as well, unlucky.
Yeah, another sim, and it's Huckabee that comes out with 2 goals. Tiato comes out with a couple of assists or something like that, and everyone's happier. Well, not everyone's happy because everyone went one shot, but I'm happy.
Yeah, but you can't talk anyway. You've had 2 game weeks of near 100 points, so.
Yeah, I've had 2 very good weeks where I've gone up a couple of 100 places in 2 weeks. Yeah, it was about time the luck ran out.
Yeah, as it's Tyler saying, what about Tiato captains? I gave you a mention there. It's on a delay in the chat, I know. As Tiato fell, yeah, that's fair. Set pieces, penalties, wing spot, Man City home to Millwall, I'd expect points. But rarely captain a midfielder. I don't like captaining midfielders. Slakovic and Veron about the only 2 I ever give it to. But to be honest, Tiato was definitely fits the mould of should have got something, 100%. Anyway, I don't think he's done any of the CM stats tweets, so also it's very late, so we shall try to fire through this pretty quickly. I'm just going to give a brief overview because Rob couldn't be bothered to do the match stats tweets, so here they are quickly, guys.
Maybe getting put out in the morning, can't we?
Yeah.
Quickly get up a thread.
That's it. We've got a tight turnaround, and there's lots of work to do. So here's, as you can see, Middlesbrough actually did pretty good in this game. About equal on possession, and shots on target the same, even a few more shots, but ended up losing 3-1. So perhaps a tad unlucky. Thierry Henry returned. He was banging before this, but didn't really do much. He's on the left side up against Gareth Southgate, so possibly goes some way to explain it, although Southgate didn't have the greatest of games. Bolton, unbelievable. Again, another clean sheet. They have been getting battered of late. They got battered in the double twice, but they just managed to get the clean sheets, and that's the thing about these goals conceded. They'll probably still end up conceding quite a lot of goals over the course of the season, but they just keep getting clean sheets, man. It's fucking mental. I mean, when Villa play, this was hilarious. Stewart, I mean, look at this guy at centre back. He's got 20 for marking, but I mean, off the ball.
Yeah, so he's good at marking.
Yeah, and he's got the
and
good
he's strong. Yeah,
of off the ball. And Jonathan Brewer's fucking horrendous. So in the end, I'm surprised that Wallace and Ramberg, who is dog shit apparently, I told you, didn't score more.
Didn't even attempt to have a shot.
No, Ramberg did absolutely sweet FA. Reverted to type. Blackburn and Spurs, as you can see, Blackburn battered Spurs and they've lost 3-2.
Well.
Yeah, they battered them. So one of those days for Blackburn. I mean, it's amazing that they did batter them with such a shit team. Again, Neil Crouch at centre back, 17 years old, looking like one for the future. He looks half decent, but should he really be playing? I'm not sure about that. Steve Melvin, 17 years old at right back. 2 17-year-olds in the defence. Top work from Blackburn there. Lucas Neal, who I think went out on loan. He went out on loan last season to Luton. Generally plays as a left back, as a left attacking midfielder. Interesting. But again, this was close to being a red for me on the league, but I didn't want to make it red because Janssen played, and I didn't want people to then -4 and take him out and stuff. So harsh, because if I was to guess, I would have said that Janssen probably didn't play and De Boer did, because he seems to be a little bit more nailed. But there's no way to convey that in the colour coding, so it was kind of like there's orange, there's your player might play, and that happened to be Janssen. How many shots for Janssen? Janssen had 3 shots, 3 on target. He was decent. He's been very decent for a number of weeks. A little bit unlucky. To be fair, when Blackburn play this formation, they generally do pretty damn good. And whoever plays in this spot does very well. And Tugai, again, did very well.
I think it's just maybe because it was Marcus Bent, I think, had 4 shots and no on target.
Yeah,
no, 4 shots, 2 on target.
Yeah, unlucky.
If they fall to Janssen instead, then it's goals, isn't it?
Probably. Charlton and Newcastle. See, Charlton may be slightly better here, but more possession. Newcastle, that's normal against long ball, those who have more possession. Stephen Hughes finally turned up, so yeah, fixtures. That's what we always say, good player, good fixture, always got a chance, even if he is a troll. Assist and a goal, fair enough. What's funny I found here is Clegg got the penalty. Richard Rufus, we think, is on pens, and he's been waiting like a whole season for him, and he doesn't play, and then they get a pen. And then even Jason Ewell, who's usually second on them, wasn't on the pitch either. So it fell to Clegg. So Clegg's like third in line, apparently. Greg Warren got his chance, 16-year-old up front, one with the potential, one to look out for. Didn't do anything, but there we go.
He's one for season 6.
Yeah, one for season 6. Chelsea generally had the more of the play. Like they had 57%. Derby only had 1 shot on target, so pretty dreadful game. Chelsea do this in away games, so could have been anything. I think I went 1-0 Derby on my prediction, but ended up Chelsea 1-0. I think Andy said that actually, so fair play to him. United, 4 shots, 4 on target for Everton. 1 went in. Not too bad. 16 and 10 for Man United. People said in Sims that Man United often batter Everton. Well, although Dimitri's got a 5, he obviously got a few save points as well. So fair play. Could have been even more. 7 shots, 5 on target for Van Nistelrooy. So it could have been more painful if he didn't go with Rude. Red Arrow got a game week rank of 1. Well, nice one.
Nice one. I haven't even checked mine yet. I can't bring myself to do it.
Mine's been shocking for weeks, but this week I think I did actually not too bad because I had, Shearer and Phillips did nothing, but I had Van Nistelrooy captain, so that's the same as most people. Then Petkov and Wally in centre midfield, so they actually returned.
Nice.
And then Gardner, but the rest of my team did nothing. So not too bad. Leeds and Liverpool, this was a pretty even game. 50%, lots of shots here. I had this down for like, I don't know, 1-1 or something, but it seemed to be a bit of a screamer of a game, to be honest.
Perfect Boxing Day game to sit there and watch with the family, isn't it? Really,
Yeah, nice
3-2
one.
thriller.
Ipswich dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Leicester had quite a few players out. Changed their right back, changed the centre back, changed the centre midfielder, obviously if it is it, and then changed their centre forward. So that could have been close to a red for me, but then Delaney plays, people have got him, and Scowcroft plays, so I don't think it's a full rep 12. Edie, Savage, there's plenty of players that play in their normal team, Taggart, Walker, so I went with orange in the end for that one. Yeah, Ipswich interesting. I don't think I've seen them play this formation before. They've obviously got lots of new players now, so it's trying to work out how they all fit in. But Berkovic, who we thought would probably be quite nailed since he came in, played the first two and now he's been on the bench. So maybe he's not nailed and might be rotation, which is kind of annoying. Man City, yeah, Millwall, not too bad in the end, so probably could have scored, but 9 shots on target. Man City the better team, weren't they? And yeah, like you say, Huckabee still had 3 shots, 2 on target, only in half. So
yeah, if they go in and he gets injured, I'm kind of happy still. Yeah, 46 minutes he lasted.
Yeah. And the fullbacks did decent. They can actually be alright for assists. The Man City fullbacks, with fair play when he went for them. I thought they were getting some stick on the chat, but people obviously knew that, so fair play. Sunderland, this was definitely the surprise result of the day. Didn't see this one come in.
I don't think anyone did.
No.
It's like, I think it was one of those where people, I think I saw a couple of people considering triple captaining Phillips this week.
Jeez.
Against Watford.
That would have been brutal. But I said this last week actually, that Phillips, although he's been very good of late, at the beginning of the season he'd score points in games you didn't expect him, and then when he had an easy game he would do sod all, because a lot of people got burnt by him for the first sort of 7 games. He was doing hardly anything, and then he was scoring a brace away to Man United and stuff. And it's a nice. I know they've rested half the team, so it's not really a fair assessment. But home to Watford, he's not really pulled it out of the bag, has he? Libra only gets 56 minutes on his debut. That's pretty rough.
Yeah. Instant regret signing him.
Yeah, I mean, Tome for Varga, Kilban for Arca. I mean, for me, technically, you see, if they weren't really well established and well owned players, I could have maybe done a blue for this. I think, because outside of that, the rest of the team's pretty much as you'd expect. Libra for Suns, fair enough. You might expect that he might be the new guy that comes in. And I could have maybe got away with not doing an orange, but when it's Tome and Arca, I think it had to step into that orange level because it's two well-established names there at least. And Galley, yes, people saying Galley. Yeah, I have Galley deep. I think only a couple of times people have reached for him, and he's done all right when it's happened. So, yeah, good job.
Clean sheet, couple of bonus points.
Yeah, nice. Worryingly though, and we're going to get to that now, 76% condition, just 2 days to recover for a lot of these people, and this is going to be a running theme when we look through the teams now. A lot of these guys are not quite near the top percentage, and obviously the games now happen in 2 days. We're on that day now, and we're going to go through the teams. Obviously no one else has played or anything in between. There has been some signings, or a signing as you guys heard, and we'll look at that when we get to it. Libra scales the ranks. Some great scores, yeah. So even in a pretty dead week where hardly any of the main team, quite a lot of people rested, people still did really well in this game. Bricky there in 91 without captaining Ruud van Nistelrooy. I don't know how you guys are doing it, to be fair. You know the game pretty damn well, it seems.
I have just had a look. I got a grey arrow. My first ever grey arrow. Yeah, 63 points. Gameweek rank of 773, which is horrendous compared to like every week, like every one of the last 5 weeks, and 149th still.
Fair play.
You
can't keep.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Move on to next week. Yeah.
Andy Martin got 95, Gameweek rank of 10, and we don't get to see the robe. You're gonna have to put it on next time, Andy, regardless of how you do next week.
Sunday evening, got to have Andy in his robe.
Definitely. Graham S 87. I think I'm up to 3rd. Fucking hell, you guys are killing it. Well played.
It's great scores out there.
Right, here is Arsenal. They played today away to Bolton, the clean sheet merchants. Everyone is fairly good for them. I mean, this is pretty damn good. Dixon's on 91% having played. Doesn't usually play at right back. They did a bit of a rotation this week. Goalkeeper rotated. That's been happening a lot of the season. Obviously, the right back, Lauren and Lujny have both played there. Broncos played instead of Campbell. Pires completely gone. That does happen though. He's not a completely nailed guy. And then Henry and Jeffers started up front. A lot of people might have removed Jeffers this week, which would be fair because he's not 100% nailed, but scored a brace. Yeah, so looking forward, I mean, yeah, there's not many worries. I wouldn't have thought. Albertini's been out for ages. He's out still for 3 months, and everyone else is good. Dixon's probably maybe hasn't got a chance of playing, so it's probably just Lauren and Lujny for that right back now.
Yeah, I think this is the best looking team condition wise.
Okay, cool.
as we go through.
People saying Connexton, Lumberg viable now. He's just one of those guys that if you know he's in the starting lineup, he is okay. He's playing on the wing for an attacking side. He can score goals. He's been scoring a lot of late, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. For me, he's a step down in nailedness from Pires even, so it is definitely a risk. If they didn't have Tikhonov, they signed Tikhonov, which kind of ruined a lot of things for Arsenal, to be honest. Right, Aston Villa. Schmeichel was suspended 3 games, red card.
I think it's only 2 game weeks though.
Okay, yeah. Chelsea and
the FA Cup.
Bang on. But that will be. Who will they play? They'll play, what's his face in goal? Myhill, I'd imagine. Oh, they've had Enkelman as well on the bench, have they? Okay, could be Enkelman. Yeah, it's going to be Enkelman. Likely be in goal. Here's his stats for anyone who cares. Not particularly good. Not the worst of the backup keepers. Condition-wise, on the site, you may notice this week, because Panda always puts it on there. I think, do you put it if they're below 90%, they go a certain colour? Is that right, even if they're not injured? Is that right?
Yeah, they go yellow.
Okay.
I think.
So, and then obviously when you hover over them, you'll see their condition. Is that right as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see all that, guys, don't panic that they're all injured. Obviously, you lot on the stream are going to know that, but the average player might think they're injured and stuff sometimes, which can be slightly confusing, I think. But if you just hover over it, it tells you. And there's going to be a lot of this week, I'd imagine, because we've got a lot of players around these sort of levels. Boateng's still injured. He obviously didn't play this week because of it. Merson is out for a few days, 90%. And all of these lot are, there or thereabouts. Dublin's 94, Hadji's 91. Henry's 95. I mean, that's perfectly fine for them to play. It's just whether the AI decides to give the other players a go, which is always a possibility. As you can see around Christmas, it seems to be heightened.
There must be something built into the game, surely, like Christmas time rotation.
Yeah, it's a very good chance. I mean, the evidence is there so far, isn't it? Last year's runners up onto the first page, is he? Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh, Colm likes my couch.
Why don't you pop round and sleep over when COVID's out the way, mate? Get yourself a blanket.
You can
just be reciting puns all night.
Yeah, bring the papers. He's got. Oh, it's not the paper talk. It's press conference talk, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah. Quotes and puns all night.
We can sit and watch the press conferences.
Sounds like a great night. Blackburn, as you can see, a few low conditions, but as they played many of their reserve players, they're probably not ones that you need to worry about too much. I mean, Ostenstad got rolled out this week. That was a surprise. Janssen's 93%. I suppose he's the main one. 2 guys 88%, so I'd say he's probably slightly at risk. Bent's 94. Weatherall, all the other guys that normally play, De Boer, everyone else is fine.
A lot of these players are being added into the game tonight as well.
Yeah.
Just because they've started a game. Whether or not, I think most of them are 4 or 4.5. Ostenstad would be 5 million.
Yeah, generally these guys, if they weren't on the site to begin with, it's because in the sims that me and Panda did, they basically would never feature above 5 times in a season, if that. So we didn't want to fill up the player lists with hundreds of different options to confuse people, especially if you're new and you don't really know about the game and you'd be greeted with 8 forwards for Blackburn. It's a bit off-putting. So yeah, they'll be brought into the game, but by no means do we recommend you buy them at any point. Bolton, they're actually pretty good, to be fair. That's good. That's good news. Everyone's okay. Percentage-wise, Gardner's 93. Given this guy has started on 70-something when injured, I think it was game week 2, I wouldn't particularly worry about that unless it's one of these Christmas games they decided to throw out. Hendry's 91% and Cooper is 93%, so not too bad.
Cooper's had that, he's not been on 4 yellow cards, forever.
Just can't pick it up.
I think he was one of the first ones to get the yellow card flag. Yeah.
Charlton, again, they rested a lot of people. Some of it was injury related. Kinsella, 44%, 10 days, so he won't play on that. Davis is still injured, 3 weeks with a calf strain. I think he makes a big difference to them. Everyone else is fine though. Hughes 94%, Jensen, Clegg, who else is put? Jason Yules 100%, Bartlett. I mean, they rested both their front two. That had to be a red for me, really. It was only Brian Hughes that was popular. They didn't play Rufus. I mean, that's literally so Clegg, really, they swapped their goalkeeper, they swapped their left back. Clegg, Walker, Hughes. Arguably Dintz or Robertson, because they've got Kinsella out, is basically their only main players. So for me that was a red, and I thought Brian Hughes, no one's going to substitute him out as a result of it being red, because you're not going to waste transfers on that, so you're just going to leave him in. So
you either leave him in or sit him on your bench.
Yeah.
And a lot of people he probably came on anyway, even if he was benched.
Yeah.
This way.
Fatty Dintz are doing well. Yes he is, Andy. Yes he is. You're lagging now. I don't know if it's me or you that's lagging, but
what have I got here on my
hello. You got mode internet or something? Have we lost him? I think we've lost him, chat. This is as bad as mode. You there? You're moving now. And he's gone again.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hello. Let's switch the porn off. I'm going to crack on because...
yeah, go.
I can't, I can hear like one word out of about 10.
Can you hear me?
It's like 1 out of 10 that I can hear or something. Disconnect and call me back.
Oh no,
it's working now a little bit better, maybe.
I'm just...
What's it with you guys and your shit internet? Are you living in the fucking sticks as well?
I live in Horsham, mate.
I heard that. I think you're back now. Send mode round with some lady. Now he'll try and shag you, and then you'll have to lock him out.
Yeah, I end up punching him in the face after the things he said about me tonight.
Yeah, you too. Right, here's Chelsea. Now we've got him back. Desai is now orange, but thankfully for me, he is on 12%, so I really hope he doesn't play on that and he gets well soon. John Terry is still out, 2 weeks, red injury. Leon Knight is out for 3 weeks with a sprained ankle. And percent-wise, as you can see, I'll do Cummings as well, as he occasionally can play. 3 weeks, 86% for him. 4 sales on 86%. That's probably a slight worry. Zenden 86%. Gallas 93, Melchett 94. These guys should be fine. Okay, unless it's any Christmas shenanigans, they should be good.
I believe Lampard's yellows. I think that's new this week.
Okay.
So he's 1 yellow away.
Yeah, people will miss out on his 7 average rating and 3 goals.
Yeah.
Frank. Zenden86, John Shanley saying, yeah, a bit of a concern. I mean, they've still got Gronkjar and Stanic at the club, so they could come in, to be fair. But they could equally just play on 86%, probably be an early sub if they do. As long as they've got a winger on the bench. Warren doesn't know whether he's comings or going. Very good feeling. Desai 12%, yeah. He's fucked. Derby, I'm not sure too many care. Ravanelli out for 3 months. That's annoying for them. Percent wise, some of these guys like Christie 88%, Lescott 89%, Seth Johnson 91%, Oakley. They seem to do quite a bit of rotation in the midfield, but as you can see, a few of the defenders and midfielders a little bit lower. The big transfer has not been announced yet. Amrit Gill. We're getting to it. Everton. GX is 1 day twisted knee 90%. Did he play last week? I don't think he played last week, did he? No. He's been orange for a while, but he's not been playing, so maybe he gets a game on that. We'll see. 88% for Di Matteo. But the likes of Unsworth, 96%, he's relatively well owned. Ferguson, 79%, so it's a stretch to play him. If he does play, he'll probably be coming off early. Yeah, everyone else is looking okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ipswich, Doherty, 91%. Is the main guy owned, I think. Bramble 96 here, Horizon 93, Tarico 92, but no injuries or anything.
There is some transfer news from Ipswich, though.
Oh, is there? I didn't even realise that. Oh, yeah, there is. Of course there is. Yeah, they signed another player. They're splashing the cash.
This is the big transfer, isn't it?
I mean, to be fair, I often sign him in the game for certain level clubs because he's pretty damn good, and you can get him from cheap from Celtic. Yeah, which they've done here as well. They've got him really cheap. He's not a bad left back at all. 20 for set pieces, so maybe could take over some of them. We know how important they are in Champ. So it's a pretty good signing for them. The only thing is they don't play with the left back, so we might have another similar situation as the Ian Hart situation for me. They already rotate this spot quite a lot.
Just rotates in and out constantly with Clapham and who's the other one at left back?
They put Tarico there sometimes, and
That's it.
Yeah, and they can play. I mean, last season they played Carriage where he is there as well. This guy, I've only played him 3 times actually. So I'd like to think that he goes straight in because he is pretty damn good in the game anyway. But for Ipswich, can you trust him if he's not actually a wing back? I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, he's 4.5 million, the same as all the lower Ipswich defenders anyway. Feely saying Craney doesn't turn out too bad. No, he doesn't. Yeah, I often sign him as a backup left back for like a top team. More competition for Clapham when they play the flat back 5. Yep. Although I expect he probably gets the nod in those circumstances. Leeds. They've had some issues for a little while, but they're getting better. Kelly 90% few days with a strained wrist, and Alan Smith, who I think was 72%, I think. Last game he was still on the bench against Liverpool. They didn't use him. He's now 1 day 83%, so he's pretty close. However, many people would have guessed it. There he is.
Traitor. He's gone to Leeds. He was alright at United for the half a season he played for us.
Yeah, he was. One of our few decent sort of... I always put him in the same bracket as like...
There's like him and Lauren Blanc
and people like that as well that we
Yeah.
signed later on, like strikers near the end of their career that were once very good, but he was one of the better ones, to be fair. Yeah, Lauren Blanc as well, yeah. Henrik Robsey saying, yeah, Henrik, get in. Larson, how much? Yeah. I think I'll take the flat because I'm kind of giving the prices. I've been kind on his price, I'll be honest. I've been very kind, I think.
I think you've been very kind with it.
Yeah, I have. He's 10.5 million they bought him from, so I thought that's such a perfect number. That's what I'll give him. So he is 10.5 million, which is significantly cheaper than Viduka.
It's kind enough to, at the moment, like when I was doing the website update, it's like getting all of that ready. I was thinking to myself, would I take a -8 to just get him in now before the herd?
Go on him. Yeah. The reason why I've gone for 10.5 million is I don't know for 100% certainty that he is completely nailed. For a start, Alan Smith has built up his reputation and is also a very good player. So and in Sims, he played a lot of games. Now, in some pricing sims, Larson was signed by Leeds. And I've looked at those. And Larson was pretty much nailed. However, occasionally he would drop out. He would play up front with Viduka. He would not play AMC very often. I mean, I don't think I've seen it, but he can play it because he's a forward centre and not a striker. So there's nothing to say that he can't play there. I just suspect he'll be right up front. So this is going to have a knock-on effect now. This means that if he is pretty much nailed, which I think he's going to be fairly close to it with the rep boost and everything, he'll be up front with Viduka, and then the AMC slot will be fought out between Robbie Keane, who's pretty nailed, and Harry Kewell. So I imagine Robbie Keane will get that, and then Kewell will go to centre midfield alongside Bowyer more often than not. That's what I imagine what will happen. So a tasty price, an alternative to Viduka. There's no point pricing people too high in this game, I think, because we don't want to make people non-options. Nearly all of the signings we've had in this game are close to non-options, so a teaser.
Yeah, it's like it's the best signing, like biggest signing we've had for ages. Really,
yeah.
To get really excited about.
If I thought he was 100% nailed, he would definitely be more expensive. He's very good in the game quite often. He's got that 20 for jumping, which is so important. So he can win a lot of headers. Despite he was actually pretty damn good in the air in real life, but he wasn't particularly tall, was he? But jumping is basically tallness in this game. Is he on spot kicks? I don't know that, Colm. Ian Hart is still ahead of him, I think. You'd have to ask Simmers to have a look at his data in the background. I don't think he is. But yeah. He's a good option.
Yeah, see, I mean, it's their fixture this week against is it Millwall?
Oh bloody hell! So he's got a chance to smash it straight off the bat, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's why. Like when I was like having a brief look, and I was just like, oh my god, like it could well be like he could be worth take a -8 because I'm going to have to move players around just to be able to afford him and Rude because I still think you need Rude this week. But if I did that, yeah, get him in, captain him, just because I think it'll be probably the only week he's a differential, isn't it?
Probably.
Because if he does smash it, he's fighting Rude, isn't he?
Yeah, he could be. Again with that, it's Leeds formation. They don't generally like to score goals, and I don't like that formation. I think the price might turn out to be all right. But how many games have we got left of the season now? We've got what, 20 games in the season? Is that right?
18.
18 games. Okay, so we've got 18 games left. So I'd say, as a guess, he plays like 16 of them and probably scores, 12 goals or something, 10, 12. I mean, you take that at that price, would you? Something around there? I don't know. That seems pretty good to me. 8 to 12 goals. Just depends if Viduka nicks them all. I mean, Viduka's got a lot of assists, to be fair. 8 assists, so that might help him.
Yeah, and Eric Backer will be going back to the bench.
Yeah, most likely. Makoko's in the chat, by the way, saying Larson does have 20 for pens. Okay, that's big news. So with Ian Hart not playing very often, Larson could end up snatching those as well. So that is looking tasty. It's looking a kind price. I hope I don't regret that.
There's still time to. There's time to edit it.
Change it. Yeah. We'll see. Made up stats though, I think, for SPL. Yes, that's right, Connexton. You can't trust the stats. The leagues aren't running, so they are generally made up. However, Larson is just generally good. So although you don't trust this, you can trust they're pretty good. And the only games you could really go by would be these Champions League where they played him in AMC a lot of the time, but it's a completely different setup. Striker here. 2 goals, man of the match here up front against the mighty Valerenga. Right, let's move on. Sorry, I've got to cover shit teams like Leicester now.
All that excitement. It would have made it too obvious though if we left Leeds till last.
Yeah, exactly. I probably should have done that though, just to keep them hanging. They're all switched off now. Leicester. As you can see, the conditions right there, guys. I'm not going to read it all out for you. Hopefully you can see it. But Elliott's 1 yellow away from ban. Marshall's injured, he doesn't play. And it's only really Scowcroft. It's a little bit low. Delaney as well. Liverpool, some of their players coming back. Fowler's few days, gash leg 90%. Hegham's still long term, 2 months. And Stephen Wright's 2 weeks with a hip injury, 90%. I don't know if people noticed, but Gerrard didn't actually play in this game. That's why they were blue. That and the fact Fowler was injured, I think, but Lippmann and Fowler switched. The rest of it was pretty like what you'd expect their main team to be. So I was debating a green, but then Gerrard didn't play, so for me it had to be a blue. He's rarely rotated, so. But he's fine. Darcy K, Hippier still favoured for pens. Everything we've seen in these sims so far suggests Hippier is the main man on pens. So, yeah, but the AI doesn't always work like that. Sometimes players' penalty stat is so close that they will change the next week, or even within a game they can change the penalty taker. So it's not 100%. Man City, so this is for you, Panda. Obviously, you know though, 3 weeks out with a calf strain, so he's got to come out, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yep. He'll be going. He's why I've got to take a -8 to bring in. If I take him out, then I've obviously got to make money elsewhere, and I don't want to get rid of Veron or Rude yet. So I've got. I think I'm going to be getting creative with my transfers.
Nice.
And taking a couple of gambles elsewhere to just make some money. So yeah.
Scotty Brow has broken his toe. He's out for 2 weeks. So if you own Horlock, who didn't play this week, he's more likely to play this week, I would suggest.
Who comes in for Huckabee? Be Hallworth? Yeah.
It was last time, wasn't it? When One Shop was out banned with his red card. So I expect he's the front runner to take it.
I mean, they've got. Who have they got next? They've got Sunderland and then Watford.
Yeah, not bad. So you could take a punt on Hayworth. Anyone who's feeling brave, he did pretty well. Did he get goal and man of the match? I think he did in one of the games. Yeah.
He's cheap. If you want a cheap enabler, then
I swear he scored pretty well in one game. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. Just can't seem to find it. I'm probably clicking the same ones. Tired. Was it a long time ago? I don't know. I'm going to give up in a second.
It'll be the one game that it's not One Chop or Huckabee. When did One Chop get injured?
He got red carded, didn't he? Can't remember who it was against. I swear it was a red card. Oh, fucking hell.
It's probably the only game you haven't clicked.
Probably. Alright, but balls to that. You just have to
I can't remember when the red card was. It was a while ago. It's hard to believe that we started the season 12th of November.
It's mad, isn't it?
We're now almost April.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, how time has
It's gone really quick. Yeah, it does feel really quick. That's just lockdown for you, I think. Every day is basically the fucking Groundhog Day. Manchester United then, ahead of home to Charlton. What a game that is, but what a Rep 12 alarm bell that is as well. Chadwick is... Go on.
I mean, potentially though, like this Christmas, like where it just seems to throw reputation out the window, it could make everything fall really well for like Rude and Veron.
Yeah, I think we're doing the same league system this week. So if Man United are green or blue, then the only drawback to that is I think nearly as everyone is in most weeks on Van Nistelrooy, it's gonna be the same situation again. Unfortunately, I think, isn't it? Although Veron's very good in home games as he's been all season, so maybe he'll split them if that's the case. Chadwick's 90%. Maybe Bex gets a look in. Van Nistelrooy's 92%. York's 95.
Like as long as it isn't a rep game, then Van Nistelrooy will play pretty much definitely, won't he?
Would have thought so.
92%. It's not gonna.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. So worried. The only thing is if they've got Cole on the bench and they want to sub for a striker, will it be Van Nistelrooy over York? Maybe, but then the rate, it's only 3% difference, so it depends how much condition they lose during the game. It's barely anything. Tala said maybe game week 10 for right, let me have a look quickly then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, that was when it was like a half rep.
Hey, that's why Tala's the fucking.
Oh no! Now. Oh, Simon Horworth. Goal, assist, man of the match.
It was against Charlton, though. To be fair. But yeah, could be an option. Middlesbrough. They've added a new injury to their list, which is Ian Pearce, who is out for a month. Ankle ligaments. That's relatively significant. Not that most people own him, because he's obviously a starting centre-back. So I would imagine that's Festa now in at centre-back, where he can do very good still for bonus. Arguably better for bonus. And then left-back might be Dean Gordon. So if you're one of the few people who still own him, he's got a decent chance to play left-back now.
Also, Gareth Southgate picked up his 5th yellow card this week.
Oh, fabulous. Okay.
So he's suspended for game week 23.
Game week 23. Which
is against Aston Villa at home. So that would have been like 6 points in the bank, maybe.
Yeah, even if he concedes, he's getting decent bonus, probably, isn't he? Although he hasn't been that great of late for that, to be fair. But they've been conceding, and they conceded, what, 3? Middlesbrough have been so tight, but then look at that. They conceded, 8 goals in the last 3 games?
It's the snowballing. We saw this last season, though, where the first half of the season they smashed it, and then Christmas time they just fell off a cliff and didn't even make Europe, did they? So
no. Interesting one. Condition wise, Miller 88, Boxic is 89, Zepeda is 86%. Maybe the guy will fucking not play. That'll be excellent for me because he's doing my nutting.
Make me not feel the need to bring him back in.
Yeah, Johnson.
He was my.
Go on.
He was my Is It transfer last week. Was Zepeda to Is It, which paid off. But then this week I've suffered.
Yeah, he got a brace, didn't he? Yeah. Johnson's 93%. He's generally a 38 games a season man, so I wouldn't be worried about him. Millwall, again, not too many people bothered about this. Alexanderson's 89%. He'll be on a few people's benches. Kine's 90%. Neil Harris is 75% still an orange flag. So Eiffel's been playing up front, so I imagine that continues. Samba's got an outside shout. Everyone else is good. Newcastle. Shearer's back from his ban. He's now not injured, but he's tired. It wasn't enough of a rest for him. To be fair, it's been a quick turnaround. He's 37%. So I, for one, am fairly thankful because he's not going to be starting on 37%. I really hope. I'd be shocked if he started. The way they flog him, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I think I can be fairly confident he won't be playing this week. So it's well, not Galley deep for me because I don't have Galley. Who have I got on my Madison deep for me? So I'll have him.
Although, yeah, Newcastle have got who have they got this week? They've got Watford away. So
okay.
Yeah, it's like it'll be that what's his name? Demi Olawai. Delapo Olai.
Delapo Olawai, yeah.
Olai.
He's got an assist, yeah. He got a goal. That's right. That was last week, wasn't it? Right at the end, I remember now.
Yeah, he came on and got a goal, yeah.
So fair play. I wouldn't risk him myself, but
no. Yeah, I think he's added to the game this week. Probably at like 4.5 or 5.
Graham's saying Kinnear's desperate. He'll patch him up and chuck him out there. Skipper wouldn't be surprised if he plays him. Everything tells me that nobody plays below 70%. They can randomly jump up when they're orange, an unspecified amount. However, he's not orange injured. He's tired, so I'll fall off my chair. But if there's one person to do it, it probably will be him. So we'll see. I really hope not.
Yeah, Alawai, or whatever his name is, 4.5. He's going into the game after starting this week.
Nice.
For his one start this season.
Yeah.
Or 2. He might have a second start.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's going to start this week again, unless they put Bellamy up top, I suppose. Maybe Amiobi, Chopra.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, it was, I think earlier this season when Shearer was suspended, it was Amiobi that came in.
Mm.
So, yeah, I was surprised that he didn't come in this week.
No. See, the game, although it goes on reputation and ability a lot, it does also go on key stats. Usually it's less than the rest of them. And when you look at him, although we're saying he's terrible, which he is, 19 for pace is a key stat for a forward. Acceleration's a key stat for a forward. He's got 19. 19 for finishing, which is also a key stat. So in the key stats department, he's ticked really highly in 3 areas. So that's probably why he's getting the odd look in, even though he's still dreadful. Sunderland, then, the boys who thought they could take the piss home to Watford.
Oh, I've just remembered something.
What, Swartz?
R.I.P. I'll take my hat off.
Yeah, he's been red for ages, hasn't he? So he's come back orange with 3 months to go, 1%. So get him out on the field, I say. I mean, this is what I was talking about pre-season, about the likes of Teddy Sheringham, where they're pretty old and then they get a big injury and they don't train for a lot of time. Their stats go down. Stefan Swartz's stats have taken an absolute dive bomb here. They were a lot better than this.
I think because he got injured in a friendly, I think it was like mid-July, like it was one of the first friendlies that he got injured in.
Right.
So he's missed the time he's been injured is just crazy.
Why can't I not fucking see him in that list? Oh, anyway. Yeah. So condition-wise for the rest of them, obviously the likes of Arca are on 100% because they didn't play. He's down here. Tome, where's he? 100%. Teal's 92. Lawson's got injured again. If he didn't get injured all the time, he'd arguably be better than Tome for 4.5. 10 days. So yeah, that's him not playing. McCann as well is 10 days with a calf strain. McCartney himself is 1 day with a bruised rib, 90%. So they're struggling a little bit in defence.
Schwartz on life support. He's in space. He's been in the Schwartz. Get Schwartz to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Handling one. Yeah.
Someone tell him Sunderland Till I Die is only a documentary.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's very good. Tottenham Hotspur, some injuries here again for these guys. Ziga is a few days 90%. He actually played, didn't he? Or not? I made that up. Yeah, he did. He played against Blackburn.
He's been like flagged for 2 or 3 game weeks now, but he gets played because there's nobody as good.
Yeah, I imagine it'll be pretty similar this week. So he's probably going to get run out again. Obviously, runs the risk of getting an injury playing like that.
Never 20 minutes for Ziga this week.
Everson is still out for 2 weeks with a groin strain. Quentin Fortune's a month with a groin strain. Dean Richards is 2 weeks with strained knee ligaments. Rebrov's on 90%, Slakovic 92%, Anderton is 91%.
All these players are injured, and Darren Anderton isn't.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's one of the really frustrating things with Spurs, like trying to look forward into game week 22, and like they seem to be like the team that they're constantly getting injuries all over the place.
A lot of the players have high injury proneness.
Yeah, you can't I've brought in Selakovic this week, but only because he doesn't seem to get injured. But I bet he goes and gets injured on Saturday now. But everywhere else you're just like, you don't know where there's going to be an injury next. So you don't want to commit to buying another player.
They're one to look at on that week, I think.
On the upside, you could find yourself getting a bargain in game week 22 for like getting someone like ending up being able to get someone like Ledley King or something like that, who generally gets high ratings, but it's not a guaranteed starter. Yeah. But if the injuries fall his way, then he drops into the side.
Yeah, Sean Wright Phillips is another TT's one.
Yeah, Wright Phillips. I'm like with him. I'm kind of hoping for some midfielder injuries on Saturday, and then I almost definitely will bring it. If another midfielder goes like low condition, I think I'll definitely bring in Wright Phillips.
Well, since Everson got injured, so he played here. When Everson's been injured since, I mean, they've scored again. This is Spurs. They've scored 6 goals in the last 3 games, so they're still scoring the goals. I know they're spread out, but they're still scoring them. But yeah, since Everson's gone, they've played Wright Phillips in the AMC slot twice now in a row. So could be onto something with him. I think the double AMC thing seems to work for him better. I think as well.
Yeah, I think like for the double, I've got Seller, so it's either going to be Wright Phillips or Rebrov, and then maybe even someone like Ledley King or going with like Yule from Charlton instead. I've got to have a think about it.
Yeah, Craig Kemp saying Pedrina back at left wing back. I suppose he could do. Yeah, where is he? Jamie Jackson, even Johnny Jackson. Jamie Jackson, he's the Aguero leaker, isn't he? Or is he the one who leaked Aguero wasn't starting, then he scored a hat-trick? I took him out one day. Fucking bastard. Yeah. He did play there once in season 1, if I remember rightly. Left wing back. Watford, Harrison's 2 weeks with a twisted knee. He generally can play a few games for them. And Galley is at 88%. For only 14 for stamina, so maybe you won't be going Galley deep this week because he might not play. For those asking about penalties, by the way, Marcus Gale has got a crazy high stat for penalties. I don't know if it's random or not, but it's certainly in this file he's got a very high one. His intrinsic levels beyond a 20, so he's actually a ridiculously good penalty taker. However, I didn't list him on my penalty taker list ahead of Petkov because he just doesn't play, as there's many players that have got ridiculously high penalty stats that are higher than the main taker, but they never feature. So basically, when Gale is on the pitch, he will probably take penalties most of the time. It's just he's not very often on the pitch because Petkov could have had an absolute haul if he'd had that penalty as well. Goal, assist, and then would have been a brace, wouldn't it? Which is good because he's been absolutely shite for me for about 6 weeks now or something. I don't think he's scored a single point.
Yeah, he had a great start to the season, then he kind of faded off, and then he's come back with a bang this week, hasn't he?
Yeah, and his fixtures are good now, so yeah, I think he's a good option for the next few.
Despite Andy not being here, I don't own Petkov either, so like power to non-Petkov owners.
Home to Newcastle is a good game. Away to City, not the best, but still decent, and then home to Charlton. That's a nice little run.
Oh, maybe you can get the Brighton team to kick him a lot.
Yeah.
Take over
the team, put hard tackling on and just fucking smash him to bits. Galley got wrecked after going too deep. Oh dear. Let's not think about that.
Anything new about?
Well, that's everything, isn't it? Job information. Hoddle is still insecure. No one else is on the list yet. We can do some player stats real quick and then we'll look at the games. See what we think. So here's average rating for attackers. Boxic, Van Nistelrooy, Phillips top 3. Rickard's there as well. Midfielders, Veron, Zepeda, Tiato, Arca, Zenden top 5. Harpal Singh 7.7. What a guy. Southgate, Desai still out on top at 8. I own both those boys, loving that. John Terry as well, 4th. But obviously they're not playing at the moment. Yassi's gone back up. Yussi's gone back up to 1 here for keepers after his ridiculous showing once again. Do assists for keepers. Now we've got 3 assists for keepers this season. None last season. Maniga's added his name to the list.
Will anyone make it to 2?
Maybe. You'd say Shay Given, wouldn't you? Long ball.
Just punt it up there.
Yeah. Michael Gray leading the way. He's probably gone a little bit under the radar because he's 5 million, but he's been doing very well. Lawson, he's a defender assist.
I think it's where a lot of people have got Tome, or isn't Lawson 4.5 as well?
Issa and him, yeah, they're all 4.5, and Gray's 5, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's why people have generally gone there, and I'm not sure you'd double up on the Sunderland defence.
No, Gray's generally a little bit better for them for attacking returns, as he's showing here, but also with him, he can play left wing, so if Arca was to get injured for the season and then he plays left wing, he suddenly becomes a much better asset, doesn't he? So that's why he's slightly more. Yeah. What was I going to say? Dean Gordon on 3 assists despite not playing. I mean, he is really good for assists, so
and
could be playing.
Just need him to make that move.
He
is wanted, yeah.
Assists for midfielders here. Petkov and Veron leading the way. Stephen Hughes is still up there. Zepeda, Hendry, Johnston. Carbone is lower than I'd expect. I still think he'll end up somewhere nearer the top come the end. Viduka out in front for assists for forwards. And then let's do goals. Van Nistelrooy, Phillips far above everyone else at the moment. Then Boxic, Shearer and Janssen all following. One shot up to 9.
A few of us were on a little video call earlier during the game. Pedersen.
Yeah.
He's like fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in your game week? He was in your game week 38 team, wasn't he? Was Pedersen in your team at the end of last season?
Probably.
He was in a lot of teams towards the end of last season because he was like smashing it, and he just nothing. Like Ramberg, that transfer doesn't help him.
Probably not. No, I mean he's so consistent in Sims as well, so I can only expect that it's going to change round. But they keep just winning like 1-0, 2-0, and then Wallace or some other muppet gets the goal.
Yeah, if it's like a 3 or a 4, then you'd expect Pedersen to come out with something.
Zepeda leading the way for goals. Arca and Veron still there. Defenders, Doherty on 7. Answorth on 6, 3 of them pens.
In one
4
game.
Of them pens. Yeah. Was it 4? Maybe even more. We'll have a look in a second. I think it's 4. Yeah, 4. Whoops. Obviously none for keepers. Let's do dribbles per game, everyone, quickly. So Gardner's leading the way there. McAnuff, both these guys have got cheat levels of dribbling stat behind the background. So again, stats do make a difference, and it's clearly there. Jansen's doing well as well. Tackles per game, familiar names there. Davies, who again season 1 was hyped up as being pretty good for Newcastle, gets high average ratings. This is part of the reason, just never really came to fruition, but he started to play for Newcastle lately, so not that I'm recommending buying him this season.
They just need the other 10 players on the pitch to start performing.
Yeah. Man of the match, Viduka's now caught up to Cooper. I think he was way out in front a few weeks back.
Yeah, I think Craig mentioned that Cooper could just drop off towards in the second half of the season in his pod.
Yeah.
This week.
And that's about it really. We looked at all that, haven't we? Right, so enough of that. Let's just look at the fixtures. I'm going to hand it over to you now. Actually, let me do the league thing quickly. I'll do that and then we can do the fixtures. So again, guys, in case you missed it, I doubt any of you lot will, but this is what we'll go by for this week as well, as it's the Christmas period. And if it's successful, maybe beyond that, or maybe just throw them in randomly. We haven't really decided. You have to bear in mind that there's a little bit of guesswork going here. But I'll do the same for this week, and just remember the teams in green and blue are pretty reliable, so if you're worried about any of your players, you can move to them. I think it's quite a lot of information. I mean this week you could see Sunderland quite a lot missed out, Blackburn quite a lot missed out, Charlton quite a lot missed out, and there was some teams to move to here. Man United, Chelsea got a clean sheet, Carboni and Zenden got the points. Obviously Man City were good, Newcastle, so just bear that in mind. It's a lot of information and no information all at once. It's a lot more than just having one XI though, I think. What do you reckon then, mate? Bolton Arsenal?
I think it's got a score draw written on it. I can't see either team keeping a clean sheet because Arsenal's attack's too good. Really, you'd expect them to score against Bolton, but then Arsenal's defence has been disappointing, especially away from home. Mm-hmm. One of the things, in the sheet that I've shared around and added it to that tables and fixtures and results sheet that's I've added the shots on target.
Okay.
Stats into it, and Arsenal are actually the best. They've got the highest shots on target away from home. So it kind of shows that they're going to get chances. It's not going to be like a typical away performance from a team.
Yeah, they've been attacking away from home against virtually everyone, so it makes sense.
But yeah, I'd expect both to score. It won't be high scoring though, like a 1-1 or something like that. Players look out for Henry, obviously. We know him as a troll, but at some point he is going to come good. Well,
just before he got injured, I felt he'd come good, definitely. But he needs to show it for a longer period.
We're seeing it in Europe. In Europe, he was performing really well. So it's only you're playing the numbers, then eventually he's going to do well in the league, isn't he? He can't always just do well in Europe.
Hopefully not. John Shanley, Jussie Hall again. Yeah, I mean, playing Jaskalainen in this game, he's probably going to get lots of shots against him, so why not, hey? This is all based on everyone's playing their full teams, by the way. We obviously don't know what's going to happen here, so we can only go on that for our predictions, at least. I'd say Arsenal 2-1. I think wingers against Bolton are only playing one on the sides. Could be Pitts again, or I can't remember who they've got, but he's pretty woeful, so if Pires starts left wing against Pitts, that could be decent.
It could be just another good week for Gardner as well. Especially if Bolton manage to come out with a clean sheet and they win, Gardner could end up hauling because he could come on the end, be the one that gets the assist or something like that.
Yeah, I love Gardner.
He's just insane this season. I think, he's been in my team since Gameweek 1.
Nice. Brian Yule saying is Wright Phillips now a consideration. Yeah, he's not totally nailed, but he's cheap and Everson's out and he's played when Everson's not been there. We covered it a little bit earlier, so I do think he's a decent option. Absolute pits from Cole. He is the absolute pits. Chelsea Villa. I'm not. Again, this is without simming it or doing sims myself like I did last season. I'm not sure if Chelsea's reputation is high enough for Villa to force their defensive men behind ball. So it very well could be, and if that's the case, then Villa don't even try to attack. So despite Chelsea having most of their defenders out, they probably won't get many shots, Villa. So for me, I would still go along the lines of a 0-0, 1-0 Chelsea or something boring like that. I think this will be a boring game.
Yeah, and probably a good one for any defender if you own a defender that's not injured. Making sure that they're starting.
Yeah.
It's not a game that I'm looking to target anyone in particular, really.
No. I mean, maybe if Chelsea play their rubbish players, Dublin could do well, but it's the tactic and stuff. I don't think he'll get any opportunities. I think Melberg's still a good shout to play. He'll dominate Forsell and Goodjohnson, even though they'll have lots of attempts and stuff, so he could rack up bonus. I think that's good. Oh, no Peter Schmeichel. Yeah, there's no Peter Schmeichel, but maybe Chelsea will score. Skipper saying that. Yeah, that's a good shout actually. I just wouldn't I wouldn't target this fixture particularly.
It's will Chelsea did you cover the Villa rep? Was I just not listening?
I think.
Just with Chelsea, potentially, could there be rep for Chelsea?
They're 15 and Villa are 13, so outside of Christmas period, they're lower, but it's unlikely, very unlikely, I would suggest. But Christmas, who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
It could be it.
We'll see. But the attackers could do well. Skipper, it's a fair point. They've got their reserve keeper, so if they are having lots of shots and the keeper's awful, that's a fair point. Ipswich and Derby, any thoughts on this, mate? If you've got Doherty, you've got to play him, haven't you?
I think you have to. He's probably an outside. If you wanted a little gamble, maybe on a little captaincy. If you didn't want to go and back the big guns in the United Charlton game, I'd expect Ipswich to win. But again, I think it's going to be Doherty because you've got that and it's like a bonus when he scores, isn't it? So because he gets the because for every goal he scores, he gets an extra 2 points.
Yeah.
When he plays up front, so it's nobody else It's got so many injuries. That's the.
The only other thing, wingers generally do pretty well against Derby, but they only play one on the sides themselves, Ipswich. So maybe it won't be an overload. So maybe Tarico, even Craney, his debut people usually do pretty good outside of Libra. So maybe that's a shout.
It's whether I think because you're obviously to get Craney and you're going to be using a transfer that you might want to use to target elsewhere.
I wouldn't do that. It would just be like if you're on a free hit or something, then maybe you could look at it. But then it's a stretch for me. It's a hard game to call. Derby can score in random games as well. Ipswich aren't the most safe option for a clean sheet in the game. Certainly not. Liverpool versus Blackburn. Blackburn still only one defeat all season. So, I'd say that Liverpool will probably win this myself. Maybe 2-1 or something. Won't be hugely high scoring, but I could easily see a 1-1.
Yeah, I'd be confident on saying that. Yeah, Liverpool will win. I think they've got too many defensive injuries to guarantee them a clean sheet. Because Blackburn is still quite strong in the attack, but. Yeah, I'd say a Liverpool win. 2-1, 1-0. Free, maybe even high scoring, but Owen, Richie Partridge, he's quite good value for money. Seems to pick up assists here and there.
Yeah.
But again, with other fixtures, it's not ones players I'm targeting this week.
No. Hippier and Henshaw, probably good for bonus. Hopefully a penalty for Hippier. Still a good game for him, I think.
Yeah.
Man United versus Charlton. I mean, yeah, I'll let you go first. Let's assume it's Man United's full team.
Yeah, I think obviously Van Nistelrooy the fixture just screams like if you want to have a punt on a triple captain in a single game week, like if the leak came out and they were green, you'd consider it. Like if you don't want to fancy a double game week and you want a nice single game week just to get it out of the way, this could be the one.
Mm.
They're playing against by far the worst defence in the league at home, and I think it could just fall right and just be perfect that it's fallen in that Christmas period and it doesn't rep.
That'd be awesome.
And yeah, I mean, awesome. I think him, Veron, you've seen like I think any of their midfielders or attackers could absolutely haul. But most likely probably Veron, Van Nistelrooy, Veron. I might captain Veron if I don't go with my other captain.
Bloody kitten's trying to swipe at my mouse cursor when I'm moving it. Come on, kitty.
Yeah, if I captain a United player, I'll captain Veron because it's the more differential move. If weeks like this, because I own both of them. I'm always gonna try and pick the one that I can make the most gains off.
Yeah, no, I like that. Veron at home to Charlton, I do like that a lot. People saying, Jesus Christ, this cat's getting crazy. What are you doing, mate? People are saying that Liverpool, had 15 clean sheets in CM Fantasy Sims out of 20 games. So that makes me think instantly that Blackburn, which I should have thought about actually, will be playing their ridiculous 7-2-1 formation away from home. So yeah, that's probably aid things. Yeah. Middlesbrough versus Everton. They're both low rep-ish. Middlesbrough 13, I think. What's Everton? They're 13 as well. Yeah, I mean, for me, Middlesbrough have been dreadful, but I think they'll probably get another win here and go back to winning ways, I would imagine. Like 3-1, 2-1, hopefully a 2-0, and Gareth gets me a clean sheet. That would be lovely. Yeah,
I think like we know that Everton aren't great away from home. And you'd expect Middlesbrough to do well. Obviously, Boxic, Johnston. Miller's one that's interested me because he seems to he's nicely priced and he seems to get a lot of goal involvement. It's if we bring him up, I think on his debut he got 2 assists, didn't he? A goal and 2 assists on his debut.
It was either debut or the game after. Yeah, he's not done as well as he can do so far, but he got injured, and I think he's been coming back. He's on 88% today, but I still like Miller. I think he is really well priced.
Yeah. So him, and then obviously Zepeda, which is just Zepeda, isn't he?
Yeah. Probably captain this week. Guy's fucking nuts. Millwall versus Leeds. I mean, this is with Larson in as well. I think it's just going to be a heavy win for Leeds. Millwall, I think they're probably still attacking. Someone will have to check that for sure. That if not, then they're normal. And Leeds will still be offensive. So, that could be a bloodbath. I mean, Leeds, didn't they beat Charlton like 5-1 away from home earlier in the season or something? I know Charlton got a red card.
I think it was.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
So maybe we could look at something like that. Maybe. So
I reckon 3, 4, maybe more. This is why I really want to make some moves to try and bring Larson in. I'd have to take a -8 just to cut some funding elsewhere, but he'll get that. He gets that extra push, doesn't he? Like as a new signing, etc., which might help. And then on top of that, not many people will get him. Now I say this, some people might. Yeah, so I'm going to be like, as long as like I'll definitely, like, if there's any sign of rotation from United, I'll definitely be captaining Larson. I might just captain him anyway, just as a differential.
Projector C, will they play defensive away from home? No, they won't. I just clicking through in the background while Panda was talking. You can see what they'll probably play. Here you can see as well that Millwall at home played attacking versus Arsenal, which is slightly higher rep than Leeds. So that's potentially, complete tragedy for them. However, it does give them a chance to win the game. So if there ever is going to be surprising results in this, it's on those times where they can do it, because they at least give it a go. It's not like where Villa don't even bother to attack, for example, away from home. So
someone like Alexanderson or Kinney could become a hero in a 1-0 win for Millwall, although I really doubt it.
I think more, should be goals for Leeds. And he's saying in the Sims here, Leeds did better for average goals than Man United did. So Man United home to Charlton was less than Leeds. That'll be again because Charlton played defensive away from home versus the big side. So although they just sit back and do nothing, they obviously still have to break the team down, which is harder than when teams are completely open.
If you can't stretch your budget to Larson, then Keane could be an option. If he's slotting into that AMC role with the forward arrow, then he's playing in the middle of a front three, isn't he, when they've got the ball? So he could also become an option. Obviously, if you haven't got the money for Larson, you can't afford Viduka either. And then, Kuhl, Bowyer, like standard. Like I'd be definitely looking to have at least one Leeds attacking asset, if not two, this week.
Nice. If I suddenly disappear offline, it's not because I've pressed the button with my toe. My cat pulled out my Ethernet cable when I was playing a COD tournament the other day, so that's what happened probably. Sunderland versus Man City. I think this is tough because Man City are a decent side away from home sometimes, and Sunderland, they aren't the most consistent of sides, but I think I'd still back them to win here, like maybe 2-1. 2-1 to 3-1.
I think tight game, but potentially it's a tight game that could potentially lean a lot more towards Sunderland, and Phillips coming away with a nice haul again. I think it's one of those that's a bit of a coin flip. Like more towards either the draw or Sunderland to win. Rather than, I don't think City will win at all.
No, probably not.
But if Sunderland win, then I think it's Phillips that scores, and
hopefully,
hopefully for you.
Hopefully not Libra. Tottenham versus Leicester. Spurs games. That's my camera gone by the cat. Probably looking at my foot already. What are you doing, you mother?
Spurs v Leicester. I'll go with my prediction, and then when you've sorted your cat out.
I'm not even going to pick my camera up because we're right near the end now, and I can't be bothered to dive behind my desk to get it. So you just have to, whatever it's looking at now, I hope it's just the wall. Enjoy that.
I think Spurs will win, and I think it like 2-0.
Oh, going for a clean sheet for Spurs. Fucking hell, you're a brave man.
I'm gonna go out there. Like Andy does a out there pick, so I'm going for a 2-0 win for Spurs this week.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
And I don't know. Probably maybe gamble on Wright Phillips to bag a brace. There we go. I've made an Andy. It's an ode to Andy Martin right there.
Fair play. If Tottenham get a clean sheet and you've predicted it, that's you've done pretty well in my estimations, because that basically never happens, does it?
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
You said it now. You're tied to it now, I'm afraid. Watford and Newcastle, for me, with no Shearer for Newcastle. Watford are dreadful, but I think they can probably win this. I doubt they'll keep a clean sheet, but maybe. So yeah, I'll go Petkov, the hero. 2-1 to Watford again.
Yeah, I think that Watford. I think they're good for the win. I'd even, because Shearer's out. Well, probably out. I might, like, one of my looks in to get some money is to bring in a Watford defender, and I'm looking at Albert Ferrer, because Galley, it's either that or Galley, but I can afford the 4.5, so I might go for someone slightly more nailed. Galley does disappear every now and again, whilst Ferrer seems to play. So I might use him as my 4.5 defender to fund my Larson move. But yeah, I'll be dropping off. Who am I taking out for him? Fuck knows. Someone better and worth more clean sheets. Who would it be? Who would it be? Oh, Woodgate.
Oh yeah.
Just because he's not quite nailed, so
no.
That's my gamble for the week is on a Watford clean sheet and a Larson captaincy.
And a Spurs clean sheet. Because if
Larson scores a brace and Watford keep a clean sheet, then my -8's I'm happy.
All right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Fair enough.
So yeah, that's my gamble for the week, I think.
Cool. Okay. Well,
that's until I find out the leak and I'm screwed.
Well, I'm going to do all that now. It's going to take me a little while, and I shall put it up to Rob Pick, who's the scout, obviously, and then he'll probably. I mean, it's late now; it's midnight. I'd imagine he'll do it in the morning at some point. It makes more sense. And then we go again, guys. So yeah, look forward to the colour chart. Maybe it's all green this week, and we're all good, and we don't need to worry. But we'll see.
It's not going to be all green, is it?
Probably not. No. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll keep you entertained. So, when's the next game week actually happening? It's Saturday, isn't it?
Yes, Saturday. I think deadline's 7 o'clock. Well, that's probably what the website says right now. Is the deadline is 7 o'clock on Saturday. Let's double check. Yeah, 7 o'clock, 27th. Nice. That sounds about right.
Cool. So we get a Saturday stream again, like the old days. So I look forward to it.
Yeah, just not in the sun. Like I was this time last year. It was sitting in the sun in my garden on a Saturday afternoon watching the ChampMan streams. So I was hoping for a Saturday afternoon, but hey ho.
No, we have to go with the talent. Iron and Mose, they have to do it at those particular times. But
the talent, or half the talent.
Yeah, come on, they're a double lads. Give me some credit. All right, cheers, guys. Cheers, Goodman. Cheers, Connexton, John Shanley, Andy Mine, Billy Hadaway. Top lads. Nearly 5 to midnight. You're still with us. Love it. Obviously, people can catch up tomorrow and stuff as well. And yeah, hopefully you'll have the league to look forward to in the morning when Rob Pitt gets his ass out of bed. I'll catch you later.
Cheers, guys.
See you later, boys and girls.